Hello, I'm DeDe. Welcome to this 30-minute yoga session where we will focus on angle poses to help open the hips, stretch the legs, and develop greater levels of overall strength as well as alignment awareness. Here's what you'll need. If you're on a hard floor, get yourself a yoga mat, put it in the same orientation as mine. You probably won't need your shoes or socks. You might need a folded towel. Have some water out of your way off to the side so you can take sips of that when you need to. Make sure there's plenty of space around you, and ideally you'll have a quiet space so you'll be uninterrupted. So we're going to come down to seated to begin with. So you come down any way that works for you. And if you have a lot of difficulty with sitting on the floor, even when you're sitting up on a folded towel like this, then I encourage you to do this first seated part sitting in a chair or sitting on the side of a bed or sitting on a couch. Make yourself comfortable. So once you've found your sitting position, if you're sitting with your legs folded like I am, let your knees drop open. Feel free to push your feet further out in front of you. And as I said, sitting up on an elevated surface might be something that you want to look into just to allow you to sit up with your torso straight and tall with greater ease. So then once we're there, we have a comfortable seat, then just relax your arms in your lap with your ears, your shoulders, and your hips all in one line. Sitting tall. Let your eyes close now. And for just a moment, we'll try to clear the mind and focus on our breathing. Each inhalation, each exhalation. Each time you notice that your thoughts have caused you to leave the present moment, just invite yourself to come right back. Just like when you're training a puppy, you wouldn't be mean, you would be very patient, you would be kind, you would guide the puppy to do the right thing. And that's what we're doing with our puppy minds. Sometimes our minds are as wild as a puppy. So use your patience, use your puppy training self, and use your deep breathing to quiet down your mind and your body. If you've closed your eyes, let your eyes blink open softly. And then if you're sitting with your legs folded like I was, go ahead and switch the one that's in front. And then we'll start with some torso circles. So we'll lean to the side slightly, slightly forward, over to the other side, and then back, and then reverse. So if you think of the central point as your pelvis, then we're trying to orbit our shoulders around that central point. So a little backward lean, a little bit, a little side, a little forward lean. Two more. So what do you feel as we do this? Do you feel stretching through your hips maybe, through your legs? Do you feel some contraction through your torso, your neck maybe? Come back to the center now, and we inhale, exhale, turn to the right, look over your shoulder, or in the direction of your shoulder anyway. And then inhale, center, stretch the arms out, spread the fingers apart, and then exhale around. And again. Get that intention in your hands, the intention to spread the fingers open. 2 more. Now some side bending. Take your arms out like a goalpost. Draw the goalpost back as you inhale, and then one hand down as you exhale. And then we'll switch. Draw back and over. So if you're sitting as I am, you have your legs in some definite angle shapes, right? And this goalpost is definitely a right angle at your elbows. Angles are present in pretty much all the movements that we do in our daily lives, and especially in our yoga poses. And we're going to focus on that in this session. Finding the angles, deepening the angles, maybe moving in and out of certain angles so we're strong throughout the whole range of motion through the joints. Last one. All right, now we're coming to the center, and we're going to separate the knees more and bring the soles of the feet together. So toes together, heels together. Your arches are not together because they're inherently concave, right? So they probably won't be touching. If you do have feet that have less of an arch in your arch, that's okay. Your arches can touch here, but mostly we're focusing on toes and heels touching. It's probably easiest to do this on the surface of a bed or on the floor, not on a chair. See what you can do. Inhale, lift your knees up, and then exhale, press your knees open and tip forward without rounding. Let's do that again. Inhale, hold on to your shins so you don't fly backward. Exhale, lean forward. A couple more. Like when you see a butterfly land on something and it kind of moves its wings like this. That's what we're replicating here. And this pose is actually called bound angle pose because your legs are in an angle. And if we were interlacing our fingers underneath our feet, that would be the bound part. We're doing it this way with our hands around our ankles or shins. All right, last one. And then we'll come to our hands and knees. Now you may want your folded towel under your knees. If that's the case, then as you're moving onto your hands and knees on the floor, then drag your folded towel over somewhere near the center of your mat. And place your knees on top. Now we're going to be up on our fists or down on our palms. Then we're going to warm up one wrist by circling it around. And then making a fist, flaring the fingers out once again. And then we'll switch. Same thing with the circles. And the fist and the flare. All right, as I said, palms flat or be on your fists, neutral spine, wrists are directly under shoulders, and knees are directly under hips. Tuck your toes under here so we get a little toe stretch going. And then watch the tailbone. Lift it up as you inhale, and then drop it down as you exhale. Let's go back and forth with this. Now, while you're doing this, I want you to be mindful of not collapsing through your shoulders. So you're pushing the ground away firmly with your hands, and you're not letting up on that. It's pushing the whole time. You're breathing, tipping your tailbone up and down, and pushing the floor away. All right, one more. Still pushing the floor away. Now we're not lifting or dropping the tailbone. It's right in the middle. It's neutral. Untuck your toes. Inhale. On the exhale, drop your elbows down. So they're a few inches in front of your knees. Make a 90-degree bend at your elbows. And then when you're ready to inhale, rise back up to all fours. And then exhale, drop your elbows down to that 90-degree angle. Lots of angles going on here. Now do your best, if your palms are flat, to keep them actually flat. So that means the base of your thumbs and the base of your index fingers are pressing down. Try not to only favor the outer edges of your palms. That can lead to wrist and forearm discomfort. We don't want that. Now let's try some of these with the toes tucked under again. So take it easy on your toes. Do not overstretch your toes. See how it feels to sit back, drop your elbows, come back up. Are you okay with it? Two more. All right, now we're staying in the down position, and we're keeping an eye on the angles of our toes. Is it just right for you? Is it too much? What about your shoulders? Are they elevated up by your ears? Try to press them down if they are. And then lift your hips up, untuck your toes, sit into your version of child's pose. So maybe that's here, or further back, or even further back. Rest. Make sure you keep breathing while you're here. We won't at any time hold our breath. Now from your child's pose, extend your arms out in front of you as long as you can. Make sure your shoulders are okay. Your palms are flat for this, and your hands are shoulder width distance apart. Now we come forward into the kneeling version of plank, one straight line from knees through the crown of the head, and then we push all the way back again into your version of child's pose. And let's do that again. So your hands need to be far enough forward so when you stretch out, your shoulders end up over your wrists. Moving with your breath, inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Now this time, inhaling forward, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Stay here and alternate your heels. So when you look at someone in downward facing dog from the side, they're a definite angle, right? There's sort of a pyramid shape going on. Are you in a pyramid shape right now? Can you feel that you are? In this case, the angle is helping to stretch our hamstrings, the area on the backs of our thighs, as well as our calf muscles. Let's press both heels down evenly. Press forward with your hands so you can shift more weight back into your legs. Relax your neck. Now take your foot that's furthest away from me, pick it up and step it forward. And then step it the rest of the way forward by taking your hand behind your heel and helping the foot all the way up. And then we drop our back knee and our back foot down. And then we inhale and sweep the arms forward. And we exhale down. Make sure this front knee is over your ankle. And we go a little higher this time. Inhale a little higher. And down. You have your hip forward of your knee. You want to have it at least a little bit forward of your knee. And one more. Big opening through the front of your body. All right, now take your hands down on the inside of your front foot. Tuck your back foot under, lift your back knee, and let's take a walk, hand over hand, around to the other side. And let's find our kneeling lunge on this side. So your knee is on your extra padding, and your front ankle is under your front knee. All right, let's do our arm sweeps. This time the arms can go a little wider. Maybe a little higher each time, maybe not. Do what feels right for you. I love the feeling of opening the front of my body. I hope you do too. Hands go on the inside of your front foot. Tuck your back foot. Lift your back knee. Turn toward me now with your knees bent and your toes turned out. Hands on your thighs. Neutral spine. Shoulders away from ears. Inhale, exhale, drop one shoulder down and turn your heart center. And then inhale. Let's do the other side. We're getting a little wrist stretch here as well. One more. And then come back to center. We're pressing the knees open. We're bringing the torso more upright. If you need to stabilize yourself against a wall with a sturdy chair or a countertop, I want you to always do that. Okay, now we're turning back to this original right side. Take your fingertips down. You're on the tiptoes of your back foot now. Inhale and then exhale. Let your front leg straighten a little bit. So we're going from this low lunge. Inhale, 90-degree angle with your front knee. And then exhale, straighten your front leg a little bit. Taking it out of that 90-degree angle. You can be on your fists right now or on your yoga blocks with your hands. Customize it for you. All right, and then we bend our front knee and we walk hand over hand around to the other side. And we find that low lunge over here. So in this case, we're moving in and out of some angles to strengthen throughout the range of motion. So we inhale with our 90 degrees with the front knee, and then we exhale and move toward a straighter front knee. 3 more. Maybe you look forward as you bend. Maybe you look backward as you straighten. Bend and we walk hand over hand around, facing one another, turning the toes out once again, taking the hands up on the legs, keep the knees bent, push the hips back, and and then start to rise up. Now we're coming up to straighter legs. Take your time. Now we'll move into a classic pose using angles. So we'll turn the left toes in, we'll turn the right toes out, and we also want the right kneecap to turn out, and that happens from your hip joint. Try to turn your navel and your heart straight toward me, and then we'll bend the front knee. We'll tip the pelvis over on its side. See how my waistband is angular? Rest your right forearm on your thigh, and then take your top arm up. So it can be up, bent like a goalpost, or it can be straighter if that feels comfortable. You decide. And we'll stay here. So this is side angle pose. So it should have some straight lines. If you're finding yourself kind of more of a dome shape, try to correct. Try to have straighter, longer, more angular lines. All right, let's release that. Hello, Prissy. Now we turn the right toes in and the left toes turn out. Make sure your kneecap as well is turning in the direction of your toes. Turn your navel and your heart toward me. Tip your pelvis over on its side a little bit and bend. Try to keep your waist the same length on both sides. Rest your forearm and then take your top arm up. Now check your shoulders. They're not swallowing up your neck, are they? Don't let that happen. And then only if it's comfortable will you attempt to straighten out your top arm a bit. Strong angles of your legs, your arms, a strong straight line of your spine. All right, and then we'll release that. Turning around, now switching feet again. Keep your balance as you turn your left foot in and your right foot out. Now my favorite angular pose, triangle. So kneecap, right toes facing the same way, navel and heart facing toward me. Tip your pelvis over on that side, and this time the leg is straighter. Top arm goes up, bottom arm goes down. Make sure that you're not getting three-dimensional in your triangle. You want to stay more flat, almost one-dimensional. Looking up or looking forward, that's comfortable for most. Looking down is also an option. Make sure that you unlock your front knee if it feels any pressure at all. All right, and then we're coming up and we're switching. Right toes in. Left toes out. Turn this mid-body to face me. Tip the pelvis. Keep your waist the same length on both sides. Reach the arms out. Now you know you're always welcome to put your hand on a couple of yoga blocks here, even on the seat of a sturdy chair if that's a better height for you, but your shin is always with you. So you could use that if at all possible. That way you always have what you need to do your practice. Find the just right focal point that works for you, up or out or down. Are you staying out of the three-dimensional shape and staying flatter? Try to stay flatter. Soften the knee and we come up. And then we bring the feet in closer together. So we don't need that folded towel now. If you still have it, you can move it. Let's come to mountain pose. Feet underneath your hips. Knees are slightly bent, pelvis is level. Arms are down at your sides. Swivel the arms around so the inner elbows and the palms are facing forward. Stand here for just a moment and breathe, eyes open or closed if you want a little bit of challenge for your balance. All right, now another pose that involves a tremendous number of angles at different joints is chair pose. So I'll turn sideways for it. You don't have to turn sideways. So we inhale from our mountain pose, and then on the exhale, shift your pelvis back, keep your back straight, and join your hands together in front of your heart center like you're sitting in a chair. And then stand back up again. Inhale, draw the arms back. Exhale, sit back. So go with your breath now. So I just want to point out that your knees and ankles stay the same distance apart the whole time. The whole time. Don't let your knees collapse inward or splay outward. Now, as we move in and out of our chair pose, this time as we sit down into it, I want you to lift your right heel. And then bring it back down again as you inhale and rise up. And then lift your left heel. Now, are you okay lifting both heels? If you're not, that's okay. Just stay with the one heel. If both heels work for you, do the both heels. Make sure that your knees are not going too far forward. Your hips are sitting back. Use a wall, use a sturdy chair, use a countertop if you need it. One more. Now we're going to stay down. So look at all those angles now. There's angles at our toes. There's angles at our ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. You're breathing. All right, and then hands on the legs. Let's come all the way up. All right, roll your shoulders. One more time. Let's move into a side bend now. Take your right hand on your hip and reach your left arm up and over. So earlier when we were in the triangle and the side angle pose, we tried to keep the waist the same length. Not in this pose. We're trying to shorten one side of our waist while we lengthen the other side. And then we'll switch. Make sure you get some support from your hand on your hip. Back to the center. Take the little finger side of your fist and place it against the sides of your hips. Shoulder blades down your back. Tuck your elbows way back behind you until you feel a big stretch through your chest and the fronts of your shoulders. So really pull the elbows back. Release that. Now take 4 fingers and gently pull them back. push the heel of your hand forward as you pull the forefingers back. Feel that big stretch through your wrist up into your forearm, maybe through your palm as well. Make sure you're not overstretching. Relax your shoulders. And then we'll switch. Let's release that. Roll your shoulders up and back and down. So how did that feel? Did you appreciate all the different angles that we found our joints in? Remember, those angles can create better stability, better strength, and better flexibility in our body, which is all very good. We want that. So thank you for joining me, and until next time, be well.